Hi there, welcome to our October market update. As you might be able to hear, I've caught a seasonal cold, much like the housing market. We'll see whether or not the cold sticks around for the property market. But this morning I'm going to give you an update on exactly what happened through the month of October, what an interesting month it was for us all. Let's have a look at some trends and things that we can see going on across the market currently. And then finally, as I always try and do, I'll give you some predictions of how we see the next couple of months pan out. Before I do that, I always ask the same thing. Please hit that subscribe button. Our subscribers are on the way up. Become one of those. And if you like what I'm saying and enjoy these videos, please hit the like button. It really does help us out. So let's talk about the month of October. I'm going to try and give you a quick recap of everything that happened. What a month it was. It was a month of almost unparalleled disruption, perhaps only the month where the pandemic began, or perhaps Brexit we could compare to what happened over the last month. The political turmoil, the grenade of the mini budget that was thrown in, thrusting the country into this ridiculous and most unnecessary period of uncertainty. Fortunately, as soon as Jeremy Hunt was brought in as Chancellor, and then furthermore when Rishi Sunak took number 10, we did start to see things settle down, and it was very much a month of two halves. But the overarching theme from the month was the number of cancelled sales that we had through October, 35% higher than we would normally expect at this time of year. And when we asked those people why they were withdrawing from the purchase or indeed the sale of that property, it was either because of economic uncertainty or the change in mortgage rates. So that's all of the excess fall throughs we saw were attributed to the mini budget basically that happened. What an own goal that was. Let me try and give you some headline stats though of what happened. I'm just going to read these out quickly from here because it's hard to remember them all. Number of new properties coming to market through October was actually 8% higher than it was at this time last year, and 4% higher than it was in the same month of 2019. You're going to hear me talk about 2019 a lot, and I'll come on to why. The number of properties sold was 10% lower than it was at this time last year, and 7% lower than it was in 2019. And the number of new buyers who registered to start their search was 25% down on the same period last year, but interestingly, broadly the same as it was in the same month in 2019. And finally, prices. The question everyone is asking, are prices falling? Well, we did see some small contraction in our average price of property sold, about 1%. And interestingly, that compares quite well with the Nationwide's recent results, which said that prices have fallen by 0.9% over the last month. I'll come on to whether or not we think that trend is going to continue. So let's talk about some trends that I feel are happening across the market. So the first thing I wanted to say, if anybody's under any illusions that this isn't the case, then apologies, but the boom market is definitely over. That ship has sailed. We are now very much moving into a market which you would typically know as a buyer's market, where buyers have got a little bit more choice of property and they can be a bit more discerning about the property that they choose. So the second trend that relates to is the decision that sellers are making in respect of the price that they choose to market their property at. Never has there been a need to be more careful about the price you're choosing to market at. Get the price right. Don't chase the market down if prices are going to fall a little bit. The knowledge and expertise of a good agent has never been more important. And I believe that this is why we're seeing a very interesting trend develop. The single biggest fall over the last couple of months recorded in the use of online or self-service agents across our region. These guys have offered a cheap option for a very long period of time now, but I believe the market is slowly recognizing that this environment needs something a little bit more. It needs more expertise, more knowledge, and a much, much more in depth to the sale of property. And the final trend that I want to talk about is what I see and what we see as still an underlying level of demand in the market. So our website hits are down on where they were a year ago. But again, if we compare the number of people visiting our website to the same period in 2019, the numbers are still up. And what's interesting is that that isn't necessarily relating to the volume of inquiries that we are currently receiving. And I believe that a lot of people now are sitting on their hands waiting to see how this market develops over the coming months. That isn't to say that there isn't still plenty of demand in the market, because there is, but there is this sense that the new year particularly could bring a surge of people once we get a good idea of where interest rates are likely to be. And I'll come on to that in a moment, because it's time for my predictions. Where do I think we are heading in this market? So there are, in my view, two big barriers that I believe prevent the big house price crashes that a lot of commentators have started talking about. The first one is around what we still see as a constrained level of supply in the market. Again, I've kept talking through this video about 2019, but let me wind the clock back to then. In 2019, we had 25% more property for sale than we do right now. And bear in mind, over that 3 or 4 year period, particularly in a region like our own, we've seen an increase in population. So there are more people in the area, and there are still less properties for them to choose from. So if supply still remains constrained, we're going to see the level of demand still hold prices, relatively speaking, quite close to where they are. The second prediction, and the second thing I want to say about what we're seeing happen at the moment, is that yes, we have been in an increasing interest rate environment, but the numbers are starting to change. Only a couple of weeks ago, there was suggestion from various commentators that interest rates could reach 4+%. We're now starting to see those forecasts come down with an expected 0.5 and then 0.25% increase over the next few months, taking us to about 3.75%. Now, don't get me wrong, that's still a lot higher than it was, but at that rate, the market will still have that underlying level of demand that I believe is there. And that level of demand will continue to keep prices, maybe not quite at the level they are, but perhaps a little bit lower in the coming months. And so what does that mean for my house price predictions? I've been pretty firm in saying that I didn't think that prices were going to move all that much. And generally speaking, I stand by that with a little bit of a caveat. I think that we could see a correction. Certain areas, probably 5, maybe up to 10%, but that 5 or 10% will only remove the froth that we saw right at the end of the post-pandemic boom. To see whether or not I'm right, you're gonna have to stay in touch with us through these videos, of course. We are here to help you move through 2022 and 2023 as we fast approach the new year. We're available 8 AM till 8 PM, 7 days a week, and we'd love to talk to you about how we can help you move. Thanks for watching.